demonstrate a deeper impact among selected recipients. I want everyone and encourage everyone who is eligible to apply today. Applications open at 6 a.m. this morning and will remain open through 11:59 p.m. on Monday, May the 9th. Eligible residents can visit the Mayor's Office of Children and Family Success website at www.bemorechildren.com/guaranteed-income. That's a dash. Again, that's www.bemorechildren.com/guaranteed-income to apply or find more answers about the program. And residents seeking assistance with applications can connect with our community-based partners like the great folks here at Yo to get through the application process. A full list of partners and locations can be found on the Mayor's Office of Children and Family Success website at the Guaranteed Income page. And thank you. And now I will turn it over to Robin Mckinney, co-founder and CEO of the Cash Campaign of Maryland. Robin?
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. I'm Robin Mckinney, co-founder and CEO of the Cash Campaign of Maryland. We are so excited that the application day is finally here. Again, the applications open. They can be completed fully online. There are application assistance sites across the city for those of you that do need assistance. A few things to know about the application. Take your time. It could take up to 90 minutes because there is a survey attached to it, which is very important. Helps us know if this is working, right? That's the whole idea behind this project, is to make sure that we understand what are the needs of young parents and their households. What do they need for the health of their children, for the financial stability? How does this impact parent engagement? So filling out that survey is really important. We've heard of a couple technical little things that people have had questions about. Again, you have to earn less than 300% of the federal poverty level. And so if for some reason you can't get it to take, make sure you don't have any commas in that area where it lists your income. And if your income is 0 and it doesn't take, try putting in just $1. And hopefully that'll assess any issues. If not, you can also email us at gi@cashmd.org. We can help you to troubleshoot, but again, there are lots of application assistance sites available across the state. Make sure that your application is completed by 11:59 on May 9th. Not started, but actually completed by 11:59. Again, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and we look forward to those applications rolling in.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you so much. Now we will hear from Ms. Danielle Terrain, Director of OSI Baltimore, to highlight the value of cash transfer programs and their importance to our shared vision for a better, brighter, and stronger Baltimore. Danielle?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good morning. I'm Danielle Terrain, Director of OSI Baltimore. I'm really thrilled to join you as we all come together in collaboration to launch the Baltimore Young Family Success Fund. This initiative is a result of a really impressive collaboration, a partnership of public, private, community, and philanthropic leaders and organizations, of which OSI is really proud to be a part. Our own experience here in Baltimore has really demonstrated that direct assistance to people in need can have a really transformative and immediate impact on their lives. In 2020, as COVID-19 and its economic impact were really taking a toll in Baltimore, OSI partnered with the mayor, Baltimore's Promise, the city of Baltimore, as the mayor has shared, to launch what was called the COVID-19 Emergency Cash Assistance Program. This program was actually a predecessor, or one of the predecessors, of the Baltimore Young Family Success Fund. That program used $6 million of city funds to provide about $400 in the way of prepaid cards to 15,000 city residents, most in need of assistance as a result of the pandemic's economic toll. 95% of card recipients were people of color. 63% were unemployed at the time that they received and accessed that support. These are trends that we know are not only playing out in Baltimore, but across the country in terms of the disproportionate impact of the pandemic on communities of color and low-income and working-class communities. Data show that recipients use the cards to buy groceries, to pay rent, to buy medicine, to pay bills, to essentially cover the expenses necessary to help them get through difficult times. these results really affirm that what studies have really shown for years, that given the resources to help themselves, people experiencing intense financial hardship really know how to best use them. We at OSI are so glad to see the model of providing direct assistance to people in need expanded with the Baltimore Young Families Success Fund. And as a proud co-chair of the Mayor's Guaranteed Income Steering Committee, along with my beloved colleague who couldn't be here today, Joe Jones of the Center for Urban Families, I had the honor of participating in some really thoughtful conversations with some of our city's sharpest minds. Steering committee members worked together to imagine and design a pilot that would provide direct, unconditional, ongoing support to some of Baltimore's most impacted young families, centering the model in the principles of dignity, mutual care, and respect. The pilot will also work to capture and assess data that will help us to assess the effectiveness of the program over time and determine whether to take this to scale as a model to really strengthen Baltimore's social safety net. I share Mayor Scott's enthusiasm about this model, and I look forward to continuing to work with him and all of our diverse partners to tailor it to the specific needs of our families in Baltimore as we look to get more individuals and families on the path to self-sufficiency and really see our city thrive. So thank you, and thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Danielle, and thank you and OSI for being a partner in how to improve the lives of all Baltimoreans. Next, we're going to hear from Jenny Hope, Executive Director at the Historic East Baltimore Coalition Action, Community Action Coalition, known as HEBCAC here in East Baltimore, as we call it, to talk about what these cash transfer programs mean for our residents and how it changes how they look at the challenges that they have ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, I also want to thank Mayor Scott for this opportunity and hosting here at the Yo Center. My name is Jenny Hope, and I'm the director of HEBCAC. We also have a Dee's Place program and a homeless shelter for young adults. So we know that this funding is very needed at this time. I think COVID has been really hard for the age group 18 to 24 and also younger folks because of the isolation and the lack of ability to get jobs, and we're sort of coming out of that, but we think that this guaranteed income will make a significant difference for very important families with young children in Baltimore City. And if it's okay, I'd like Liz to say just 2 words. Liz, can you come up to the microphone?
Good morning, Mr. Mayor. I am extremely excited and grateful that this opportunity for these funds have become available. I cannot stress enough, and my staff is in the back, how many times we have faced kids coming in saying they've been evicted, they lost where they were staying, they didn't have the money to continue with daycare, so eventually they lost employment. These funds are going to help so many youth stabilize and to make a difference economically in their households. We work with youth who are in the shelter at the Nest to find them housing. The Yo program downstairs, we work with them as a day program, and what our job is we're tasked with is to remove barriers, help them find jobs, help them become stable, but it's all based on a strength base of the youth and the case manager who is the employment advocate working together. It actually takes, I would say, anywhere from 6 to 12 months to see the stability in that young family happen. So I'm glad this is imperative, that it's not a Band-Aid fix. It's helping them to get stable and helping their coaches, who could be their case managers or their advocates, work with them to make sure that they have the necessary skills and tools to continue for additional 12 months so they don't fall backwards or at the wayside. So I am ecstatic about this. It's going to help in so many different areas for these young people. Today we have a few of them that have come in because we have been advertising after my staff took the training what was to come. They're very excited, and after this press conference, they will meet us inside, and they're going to be the first of our Yo Baltimore kids to start on their application process. Mr. Mayor, I thank you very much.
Yep. I just wanted to, yeah, thank you, Liz. Yeah. And thank you to all the staff that is working really hard to help with applications. We're open every day from 9 to 5, and like Councilman Torrance, we will accept anybody from Baltimore City to come to our site to apply for these funds. So Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and thank you very much.
Thank you. And last, we will hear from Councilman James Doris. Mr. Councilman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you to the members of the steering committee. It was an honor to serve with you all for the last 12 months in carefully crafting this program for families that we know are most in need. I lift up the stories of residents in West Baltimore who've had to quit work training processes or work training programs because they didn't have childcare, or residents who did not have the funds to fix their car to get to work. So imagine the transitional income this prevents from not happening, right? Imagine the transition this prevent, the dream deferred because they did not have $200 or $300 or even $1,000. So I'm thankful for this program, but also the stability of it for the next 24 months as families have an opportunity to have that transitional income to actually actualize that transition, but also achieve the goals that they need. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Councilman. I want to remind everybody again that applications are open now through 11:59 p.m. on Monday, May the 9th. That means you have to finish it, as you heard earlier today, by that time period. And please, again, visit bemorechildren.com/guaranteed-income to apply. I want to thank you all for being here. And before we take questions, I'm going to ask Commissioner Harrison, because I know that some of you have questions for him and not just for us today. Ask Commissioner Harrison to come forward to talk about incidents that happened over the weekend. Mr. Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This weekend, regarding violence, there were 10 shooting incidents over the weekend, 7 non-fatal shootings, and 3 homicides. There were 15 confirmed armed robberies. But despite this unacceptable high level of crime and violence, the Baltimore Police Department was able to make 14 significant arrests for violent crimes over the weekend, including 1 homicide arrest, 5 robbery arrests, and 8 handgun arrests. Now, regarding handguns year to date, we have seized 801 guns from the streets of Baltimore. That's an 11% increase from this time in 2021. The department has initiated special deployments that will be and have been in place to address the anticipated increase in young people in and around the Inner Harbor. We've had increased roving and foot patrols. We've had bicycle patrols and an increased coordinated monitoring of city watch cameras. We continue to work with our law enforcement partners, community organizations, and businesses to address disorder, youthful mischief, and in a few instances, youth violence in our downtown corridor. Officers this weekend arrested a juvenile following an assault, and we arrested another individual illegally possessing a firearm while downtown. We know that addressing youth disorder and mischief, and again, in a few cases, violence, is bigger than any one department. We are asking for parents, community organizations, juvenile advocates, social service agencies to get involved to prevent these types of destructive behaviors and violence. Let me talk to parents. Parents, know where your children are and that they are home and not roaming the streets at hours where they should be home and not out. And just know, and your children should know, that we will continue, as we did this weekend, to enforce violations of law. Regarding the violence, our officers continue to work with community partners, businesses, and identifying and apprehending violent offenders. These senseless acts of violence not only traumatizes our communities we serve, but they also affect first responders responding to the scenes, as well as the families directly and indirectly impacted by violence. We're combing through a number of pieces of evidence, but always looking for more. And we're following leads on all of these cases. But anyone with any information about any of these violent crimes that occurred this weekend, we're asking you to call police right away, or you can do it anonymously by calling Crime Stoppers at 1-866-7-LOCK-UP. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions? Jane, look like you're first. You're standing by the mic. Hold on 1 second, Jane. Try it now.
I can also talk
There
about
you go.
on the guaranteed income program. A lot of people have asked, well, then what happens? And you know, this isn't an indefinite period of time.
Yeah.
So what's kind of the thinking about that and the plan?
So, Jane, I'll start and I'll let Deputy Mayor Leach come. I think you know this, that we are I have joined Mayors for Guaranteed Income, a group of mayors around the country, growing group of mayors around the country. I know that my fellow mayor in Salisbury is looking to follow in the footsteps, who are running these guaranteed income pilot programs. And the end goal is for us to hopefully convince the federal government that this is something that we should do around the country, period, through the federal government, so that we are uplifting those most in need, not just in Baltimore, not just in Stockton, California, not just in St. Paul, Minnesota, or Atlanta, or D.C., but every single place in the richest country in the history of the world where folks should not have to live and suffer the way that families and people have in our country.
Thank you for, and just to follow up on that, thank you for that really important question, Jane. So this pilot is about systems change. And so one of the big components of the pilot is around research. And so we're partnering with Johns Hopkins and also Mayors for Guaranteed Income and Abbott and Associates. And they're going to be providing research support and through a randomized trials. And so we are really looking to learn about how we can shift our systems to better support those who are the most vulnerable, especially our young families. So it's all about the research that we're going to gain and the learnings that we're going to gain so that we can use that information to better inform interventions and programs for the future. So this isn't just about the next 2 years. This is about forward-thinking policy that really could address and support these families.
Alexa?
Hi, good morning.
Hello.
Going off of what the commissioner had said, given the violence over the weekend, how much confidence do you have that the summer crime plan has enough urgency?
Well, I don't think you get more urgent than the amount of gun arrests that we had over the weekend, right? When you see what they're doing each and every day, when we had a homicide on Bel Air Road and we were able to close it within a 2-3 day span, we know the urgency is there. We know we're going to continue to be urgent, but we need other folks to be urgent too. We are talking about people, Alexa, who are harboring folks, who know that their loved one, their friend, committed an act of violence, and they think that's okay. We need those people to start checking people too, because the police are very urgent. Clearly, with the taking over 800 guns off the streets, 11% increase. If that's not urgent, I don't know what urgent is. Anybody else?
May I ask another question?
Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. The commissioner, is any detail you can release about the triple shooting at the gas station?
Mr. Commissioner?
We have some information. We have some evidence. Right now we're working to identify who we think may have been captured in some video. But right now what we need is anyone who would know, and thank you for asking that, anyone who would know anything about that, we're asking them to call us right away, or they can do it anonymously, again, by calling Crime Stoppers. But detectives are following leads. There's no specific update other than detectives are working hard at it as we speak.
And given today is the funeral for Marco Nunez, the man who was shot and killed in Fells Point, have you been able to identify any of those persons of interest in the photos released, and have you been able to talk with any of them?
We have some promising leads, and detectives are working to follow up on those leads as we speak. They have not stopped on that. They're following up on it as we speak. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.